Now, do you think Fantastic Four First Steps will hit $1 billion?
I think it will. I think we'll see at least $3 billion movies with Superman, Fantastic Four First Steps, and Jurassic World. And then I really do think How to Train Your Dragon will surprise us. I think Universal's going to have a very good summer. Fantastic Four First Steps just has a lot of pressure on it.
Yeah.
You know, there's only positive vibes around the Dragon franchise.
Yeah, How to Train Your Dragon's getting great.
Yeah, and if they made like The Lion King made $1 billion, Aladdin, the live action made $1 billion. So I think all these other franchises have a bit of stink over the time. Right. And that's not to say these movies won't be good, but I'm just saying Fantastic Four First Steps, you can see there's a lot to live up to. And it was interesting, this Entertainment Weekly article that came out this week that we went into on the Break Room channel this week, and then I made a video summarizing it on the New Rockstars channel on Friday. But they kind of talk about in this article how like all the past Fantastic Four movies have not been box office hits. And I'm like, wait, hold on. No, Fantastic Four in 2005 and Fantastic Four Rise of the Silver Surfer did pretty well. And I think for a while, Fantastic Four, directed by Tim Story, was like the highest grossing movie made by a black director until Ryan Coogler's Black Panther. Yeah. Now, it's not to say Fantastic Four, I don't have the box office figures in front of me, but it did very well. But I guess even that wasn't enough. Historically, we look back at those two movies, it's just like, they were these kind of lesser appreciated films. Obviously, Josh Trank's Fantastic Four in 2015 bombed. Well, he did everything he could to make sure it bombed.
Days before it came out, he was on Twitter being like, "This movie stinks. It's not my vision." Yeah. That movie had a lot of bad press going into it, and rightfully so. Yeah, it was a little bit of a mess.
But I think this movie has a lot going for it. I think the vibes will be interesting. It's just a movie set in an alternate universe, 1960s. It's going to hope that literally everyone who saw Pixar's Incredibles and their kids go see this movie, because that's the vibe, right? Plus, all the Marvel diehards go see this movie. I think they can count on them going to see this movie. But it's just interesting that, you know, when we see people in public and they're like, "Hey, new Rockstars," I'll always ask them like, so between Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four, what are you more excited for? A lot of people are saying like they're more excited for Thunderbolts. Yeah. I'm personally way more excited for Fantastic Four. I loved WandaVision. I love everything Matt Shakman is doing with the MCU. I love this grouping of 4 actors. I love an alternate universe. I love a Galactus story. I love a Franklin Richards story now. This movie, right now, I don't need anything more. But I think there's just, you know, there's different subdivisions of the Marvel fan base. And I think some of them want a big action heavy kind of simple story that doesn't deal with a lot of like space mythology.
I'm very excited to see a MCU movie not set in the 616. Like, this whole movie is not going to be in the universe that we know, which gives them so much freedom. Matt Shakman's been talking about how fun it's been just work outside of like kind of the restrictions of the 616. We still haven't seen Reed Richards stretch. Want to see what the stretching looks like. As far as I know, I haven't read anything about any screenings for this movie. I don't know. I haven't read any reports of anyone who's seen the full movie. So there's a lot of anticipation of what this is going to look like. You know, people at CinemaCon got some looks at what the Silver Surfer looks like, but they have not released that footage yet at the time that we're recording this. So yeah, a lot of anticipation for this movie. I'm very excited to see it. I'm hyped for it. Probably more hyped than I am for Jurassic World Rebirth. And I am hyped for Jurassic World Rebirth, but I'm very excited to see this Fantastic Four movie. The score, Michael Giacchino, get out of here.
I think of the different scores that are going to be filling our ears, the Fantastic Four First Steps Giacchino score has got to be the best. I mean, they're going to be using samples of John Williams scores for Jurassic World Rebirth. We know we're going to hear some samples of John Williams' score for Superman, but he has a different composer. The composer he worked with on Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, James Gunn does for Superman. And it seems like they're going for some Top Gun Maverick vibes in there. I think for the score alone, I'm excited for Fantastic Four First Steps. It's going to be very interesting to revisit this conversation in August, where we now know kind of the state of the MCU a bit better after Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four. We'll know the state of the DCU a lot better after Superman. And I think box office aside, we're going to get a sense of like confidence in the future of both of these, because these are both like the most confident swings the studios are taking. Like they're saying this is what our future will look like. Even though Fantastic Four is set in an alternate universe, I think they're talking about this is the future of the storytelling we're able to build when we're building a new setting. And Battle World will be a new setting.
Yeah.
Whatever the MCU looks like on the other side of Secret Wars, that's built by Franklin Richards, the son who gets introduced in this movie. Like how excited we are for Franklin Richards coming out of this movie is going to be very important for the future of the MCU.
Yeah. I think starting with Thunderbolts, it's kind of their, we're really in the run through the end of phase 6, right? Like they had some, the previous movies, they were either doing reshoots or moving release dates or changing plans midstream. Like this now feels like we're in the run of like, okay, we have this fully planned out. Here's what we want to do. Yeah,
they're really centering, like, yes, the first family of Marvel are extremely important. Their chemistry, the love they feel for each other, the relationship dynamics, the empathy they have for each other, and just the values. The personality of Reed Richards as just this brilliant engineer and everyman who could do everything. And Sue Storm is what we now know is the head of the Future Foundation as kind of a global peacekeeping force. And their son, Franklin Richards, is going to be the reality warper who fixes the universe after we're done with Battle World and Secret Wars. So like Marvel's future depends on us trusting this family to take care of us and trusting them to take care of the son and instill in that son certain values to make the world a better place and make it a more exciting, fun place. So if it works, it will really work in ways that we won't even see until like 3 or 4 years from now. Like getting this right is as important to the MCU as getting Robert Downey Jr.'s Tony Stark right back in 2008's Iron Man. And then similarly, James Gunn understands this for Superman. Like we have to really, really love this take on Kal-El and Clark Kent and really love like the world that he occupies, because that world it's going to need to be occupied by a Batman and the 2 Lanterns of the Lantern series and a Wonder Woman and a Supergirl. And I think who has the harder task between James Gunn and Kevin Feige with these 2 films?
I would say James Gunn has the harder task. I think even if, I think Marvel has established itself enough, when people talk about like superhero fatigue and all that, they often cite Marvel movies, but at the end of the day, they still do really well. And I think people will keep returning to the franchise, even when they maybe didn't like the movie before. Whereas everyone else who's tried this, the DCEU, the SPUMC, they've tried and they've ultimately stopped, know, and Marvel's the only one that's kept going. Even the Wizarding World kind of gave up, right? After those 3 Fantastic Beasts films, they're going to restart with like a whole new series. So I think the hardest thing right now is on James Gunn because, if this doesn't work, I don't know what the future of the DCU looks like.
And maybe a long time.
And he took this on himself. He directed it. He wrote it. So it's like, this is all on him. And if this does't work, then, they're going to have to like really think about what they want to do with the DCU.
Yeah, I agree. I think we can have like an A- Fantastic Four first steps and still be okay.
Oh, yeah.